The mind's demands the actions of anger and the urges of tongue, belly, and genitals is qualified to make disciples all over the world. I'm going to continue from the place where we left. Jivaralasa yeti utidhaya Shishnodara parayana Krishna nahivaya. That person who runs here and there, seeking to gratify his palate, and who is always attached to the desires of his stomach and genitals, is unable to attain Krishna. As stated before, the tongue, belly, and genitals are all situated in a straight line, and they fall in the same category. But Chaitanya has said, Bhalana khaibe ara, bhalana paribe. Do not dress luxuriously and do not eat delicious foodstuff. CC Antya Leela 6.236. Those who suffer from diseases of the stomach must be unable to control the urges of belly, at least according to this analysis. When we desire to eat more than necessary, we automatically create many inconveniences in life. However, if we observe fasting like Ekadashi and Janmashtami, we can restrain the demands of the belly. As far as the urges of the genitals are concerned, there are two, proper and improper, or legal and illicit. When a man is properly mature, he can marry according to the rules and regulations of the Shastras and use his genitals for begetting nice children. That is legal and religious. Otherwise, he may adopt many artificial means to satisfy the demands of the genitals, and he may not use any restraint. When one indulges in illicit sex life, as defined by the Shastras, either by thinking, planning, talking, or actually having sexual intercourse, or by satisfying the genitals by the artificial means, he is caught in the clutches of Maya. These instructions apply not only to householders, but also to Tyagis, or those who are in the renounced order of life. In his book, Prema Vivarta, chapter 7, Sri Jagadananda Pandit says, Vairagya Vaigramya Katana Sunibekane Gramya Vartana Kahibe Yabe Milibe Ane Supne Onakara by Stri Sambasana Grihe Stri Chadiya by Aischayevanaha Yadichaya Pranayaya Rakite Gaurangi Rasane Chota Haridasera Katata Kiye Namane भले न कैबे अरभालन परिबे हृदये राधा कृष्णा सर्वदा सेविबे. My dear brother, you are in the renounced order of life. You should not listen to talk about ordinary worldly things. Nor should you talk about worldly things when you meet with others. Do not think of women even in dreams. You have accepted the renounced order of life with a vow that forbids you to associate with women. If you wish to associate with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, you must always remember the incident of Chota Haridas and how he was rejected by the Lord. Do not eat luxurious dishes or dress in fine garments, but always remain humble and serve their Lord Shri Radha and Krishna in your hearts, in your heart of hearts. The conclusion is that one who can control these 6 items, speech, mind, anger, tongue, belly, genitals, is to be called a Swami or Goswami. Swami means master, Goswami means master of the go or senses. When one accepts the renounced order of life, he automatically assumes the title of Swami. This does not mean that he is a master of his family, community, or society. He must be master of his senses. Unless one is master of his senses, he should not be called Goswami, but Godasa, servant of the senses. Following in the footsteps of 6 Goswamis of Vrindavan, all Swamis and Goswamis should be fully engaged in transcendental loving service of the Lord. As opposed to this, the Godasas engaged in the service of the senses or the service of the material world. They have no other engagement. Prahlad Maharaj has further described the Godasa as Adantago, which refers to one whose senses are not controlled. An Adantugo cannot become a servant of Krishna. In Bhagavatam, Prahlad Maharaj says, Matirna Krishna Paratasvato Vaha Mito Vipadyate Griharitanam Adantugo Nisatam Tamisram Punascha Charvita Charvinanam. For those who have decided to continue their existence, this is very important to the devotees. For those who have decided to continue their existence in this material world for gratification of their senses, there is no chance of becoming Krishna conscious, not by personal endeavor, by instruction from others, or by joint conferences. They are dragged by the unbridled senses into the darkest region of ignorance, and thus they madly engage in what is called as chewing the chewer. Omagyanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Mena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Mena Bhutale Swayam Rupakadahamayam Dadati Swapadantam Vanchakalpatarubhyasya Kripasindubhyev cha Patitanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desatare. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Shri Gadadhar Shivasati Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangam Langayate Gram Yatkripa Tamaham Bante Shri Gurundina Tarinam. Hare Krishna. So grateful for the opportunity, for the platform to discuss the science of Krishna consciousness, the way how our acharyas really wanted to teach us this nectar of devotional service. Actually, every sadhaka's life is dependent on his desires. Everyone. If you actually see, the entire world is actually running behind one's own desires. That desire might be to increase his family by having more children, or the desire might be to ensure that people of this world do have big buildings, big places to stay. And the desire might be to fulfill one's own needs. There might be so many desires. But if you actually see, everything is running through one's desires. So even not just in this material world, even in the life of spirituality, a sadhaka's desires have to be pure. The desires have to be changed. We all have desires. We all have different ways of seeing things in different ways. How we see things, how we perceive. Prabhupada is mentioning about thinking, feeling, and willing. What are we thinking? What are we feeling? What are we willing? That is what gives us the next destination. Because a question will always come. What is that question is, why Lord is giving all of these things like sense gratification or profit and adoration, or trying to control the world, trying to control this material world. Why Krishna is giving all these facilities so that he could have removed all of this and then just kept him, so that the jiva doesn't have anything other than to take shelter of the Lord. It's an interesting question if we think about this, because we actually came here for a purpose. the core purpose of we coming here is to fulfill our desires. And the whole point of creation of this material world is to fulfill everyone's desires. Not just a pure devotee's desire, but everyone, every living entity. It can be a cat, dog, animal, monkey, a mammal, or Devi Devata, or people who are suffering in the hellish planets. Everyone, or people who are living in this earthly planets, everyone is given desires. Actually, Bhagavatam, fifth canto, gives a clarity of how this creation got manifested. It goes into the details like Jambudvip, creation, and how different planetary systems, how these 14 planetary systems are working, and how hellish planets do work, and how the higher planets would work, and where Brahma would reside, where he would stay, and what is Loka planets, what is Aloka mountains, and how they work, how they function. If you actually see, everything is a structural design. Lord not just sent us here, but he also gave different facilities. So these are all higher planetary systems. And what do they eat? What do they do? How do they do? How do they live their life? Everything is given according to their desires. So coming to our question, so why Lord would keep the soul in this particular state? Because a beautiful example comes in Brihad Bhagavatamrita, where Gopakumara is actually going back to the spiritual world. So this Gopakumara is being kept in different situations. For example, he was taken to the higher planetary systems, where he would go to Swargaloka, and then he would see people are having good time there. They're having greatest sense gratification, which is 10,000 times more higher than what we see in this material world, that is in the Swargaloka. And Gopakumara was being kept in that state. And then he was just watching how people would be absorbed in the process of sense gratification. And then he immediately felt, is Krishna present here? Krishna is not present here. Or Krishna's devotees are present, they are also not present there. Then he had no other business from there. He immediately left from that place. And then he would go to higher planets. Atala, Vitala, Sitala, Atala, Atala. Those are lower planets. Janaloka, Tapaloka, Maharloka, Sargaloka, Bhuloka, Gorloka, Satyaloka. These are all 7 upper planetary systems. He's been taken to every upper planetary system. And then he's been kept to that. And our Acharyas beautifully explained that at every place, Gopakumara is actually checking whether Krishna or his devotees are present. None of those places the Lord was present, none of those places Lord's devotees were present. Then his only business was to come out of that state. And then he goes forward, and then he goes to Satyaloka. There also, his heart was not satisfying. He goes to Brahma Jyoti, which is the next realm. And then even there, his heart was not satisfying because there was just light. Here I have a tube light. There it's unlimited light. It's only pure whiteness. White, everything is white. There's nothing else. Everything is white. People are just meditating on that light, thinking that that is the source of everything. They're just absorbed in that process. And then Gopakumara is watching, what kind of place is this? And what kind of benefit it will give to me? He's thinking, right? Like, see, this is the nature of a devotee. Wherever he is, irrespective of time plus circumstances, he's always thinking about that. If Krishna has kept me in this situation, what is my service in this situation? How should I tackle this situation? How should I deal the situation? How should I go about in this situation? That is his process. And then the moment he thinks that there is nothing for me here, he said, you know, he said, this is not my business. And then he goes forward. He's crossing the you know, the Brahmaloka, the liberation, you know, Brahmajyoti, impersonal liberation. And then he goes forward. He would see various spiritual worlds. The place of Lord Rama's abode, which is Ayodhya Dham, the place of Vamandev, different Lord's expansions, different expansions. They're all there. He's been kept in each and every place. He goes to Vaikuntha Loka. He's seeing, everybody is worshipping Lord Narayana. So awe and reverence. He was so happy seeing that. But his heart was not, not satisfied there also. So likewise, he goes to Lord Rama's abode, different planetary systems. Now it's in the spiritual realm, which is a personal relationship with the Lord and his devotees. He was still looking for Krishna, that two-handed Krishna, that Shyam Sundar form, and his intimate devotees. But they were not present. And then finally, he reaches Goloka Dham. And then even if you actually see the interesting part of this name, it's so beautiful that even the name is the name of a devotee. Go Loka. Go means what? Mother cow. That means Krishna named the spiritual world as his devotee's name. He did not say Krishna Loka, whatever it is. He did not give his name. This is what Srila Prabhupada says. I was so elated when I was hearing this. I think this is such an interesting thing, right? Go Loka, Go Vardhana, Go Loka, right? It's all devotees' names actually. This is the greatness of the Lord. This is the magnanimity of his character, of his wonderful qualities. He always gives full weightage for his devotees. Because if you actually closely observe in any pastime of the Lord, there's always a devotee. There's no pastimes of Krishna without a devotee. If you actually see entire Bhagavatam, it's all about devotees. It's all about Krishna and his devotees. It's all about that beautiful relationship between the Lord and his devotees. There's nothing else actually. That's why the moment Gopakumar landed in Goloka, then what happens? He would actually look for the Lord. The Lord was not present. The Lord was not present. And then finally he would ask different devotees, where is he? Where is he? Finally he would meet him. And this picture is there in Bhagavatam, where Krishna hugging Gopakumara. And I'll tell you the mood of our acharyas. Acharya's mood is to send every devotee to that state. Their mood is what? Not they would go and then hug Krishna. That is not their mood. But their mood is to send every devotee to that state. That a devotee should hug Krishna. This is a most relishable moment. And this news this is a news of Goloka. This we will not see in New York Times. This we will not see in some other places. But this is the news of Goloka. They're all discussing about, Gopakumar came. Gopakumar hugged Krishna. And that they had beautiful exchanges. And the other devotees, they are discussing about this exchange. Just like we discussed about the exchange of between Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Ramananda Rai. Likewise, all the devotees in the Goloka, they are discussing this beautiful pastime. So now a $1 million question will come. Okay, this is very beautiful. So if I kept in this situation, then how will I react? This is a question, right? So how I would react, we can see today also. We don't have to leave this body. We can realize that today. That how I will react if this situation comes to me. We can see now. For example, somebody kept something on their table. You already took prasad, right? You already took prasad, and then somebody kept nice gulab jamun. You're already full, right? And then now mind will tell that's okay, it is prasad, you can honor. But the intelligence is telling, Array, it's already full. It's already full. Other devotees might honor, or my wife can honor, or my kids can honor. But the mind is telling, take, take, take. And nobody is there actually. Just you. You're sitting in the dining table, watching your cell phone. There's some video going on in YouTube. And then there's nobody around, and then you just eat a couple of gulab jamuns. There is a choice which you had, but we misuse that choice. So likewise, this might be a simple example, but even this simple example, we can remember our acharyas. Can say, it's already full. Why should I honor more now? This can be honored to somebody else. This can be given to somebody else. I will just speak. So now you can say that is just a prasad. It is not gratification. Because I offered it to Krishna, everything is there. You can say just it is a prasad, it is not gratification. But we are already full. Krishna is not seeing whether you are eating gulab jamun or not. Krishna is seeing your attitude. Krishna is seeing whether whether we are coming in the lines of atyahara or not. Atyahara is what? Over endeavoring. This is not just for gulab jamun, it is for everything. Because we will be kept in different situations and circumstances all through our life. These are all tests and trials. Just like Gopakumara was being kept in a test after he left his present material body, and then he was going back to Godhead. He was being, at that point of time also, he was being kept at a particular position. For example, if a sadhaka is not fully matured, then he will be taken to the Swargaloka, and then he will be shown that so-called happiness, which is 10,000 times more better than this material world. If we have little tinge of that attachment here, then the moment we see that 10,000 times happiness, immediately we will do it. That means immediately we will be attracted to that. Then what happens? Then the devotees who came to take you, they will leave us in that Sargaloka. They will just leave, okay, Prabhu, stay here. They are Nilaganda Das, you stay here. You did so much, now you can stay here in Sargaloka. You did some rounds, now you can stay here in Sargaloka. You can stay for 10,000 years, and again we will be given another opportunity. They will just leave, and then they will be gone. Then now you see there's nobody taking me away, and then we are stuck there. So likewise, every situation in our life is actually a test for us. Srila Prabhupada very clearly reiterating in this particular shloka, tongue, belly, and genitals, they're all in the control of the sadhaka. If the tongue is rightly controlled, the belly is also controlled. If the belly is controlled, then the genitals are controlled. Because if the tongue is not controlled, then what happens? Belly, we will eat more and more. And when more eating is happened, then what happens? Obviously, the power to enjoy will increase. And then we use those genitals for unnecessary purposes. Even thinking is not good, Srila Prabhupada says here. Dear devotees, this is very, 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 very important. Even thinking, the thought process also is not good. Because everything begins through the thought process. Nothing will happen just like this in this world. Just like we did not fall like a mistake into this material world. We came here as a thought process change. Our consciousness got changed. Because dear devotees, not just in this material world, we will have independence in the spiritual world also. That is why we came here actually. The question will naturally come, if the spiritual world is eternal, then why we came here? It is eternal. You will remain there eternally. There is no time factor. Then why I came here? Because that is what I desired. That's what we began our discussion, right? It's through the desire we come into this material world. It is not through anything else. What is our desire? Even the example which you took, the gulab jamun, it's a desire. We want to eat, we want to enjoy, we want to honor it. And Krishna will fulfill that. Up and until we completely do everything for the pleasure of the Lord. So that means eating also will become for the pleasure of the Lord. Then mating will also become for the pleasure of the Lord. Why? To beget Krishna conscious children. That is only other rest. There is nothing. As Mataji and Prabhuji should come only to beget Krishna conscious children. If children are already there, then that means no more endeavor in this world. Because they are devotees. We are working on a conscious platform. We are trying to upgrade. This is our training. This is what Srila Prabhupada wanted to teach us actually. This is a real training. What is this training? We are actually working. We are trying to work on our consciousness. Because even the thought process has to be, we need to check our thought also. Gopakumara was not checking his thought. He was checking his thought at every moment. If you actually see him, he was checking his thought. When Srila Prabhupada, when he was about to leave, he told, now I gave you everything. Krishna, he personally said, Krishna is calling me back. And he said, I'm going back to the spiritual world. Devotee said, Srila Prabhupada, can you stay? No, he said no. And devotees also asked, do you have any other desires? Prabhupada said, kuch icha nahi hai. I have no other desires. Desires of what? Desires to stay here or do here or be here. His only desire, because Krishna called him, he wanted to go back. That means a sadhaka, a pure devotee, they always see what is the thought process, what is the thinking, what are we thinking? Thinking, feeling, and willing. This is consciousness. He immediately said, he could have said, I established 108 temples, my dear Lord, I'll stay for some more time. Or my dear Lord, I'll come, who will take care of this? He said, I've given you everything. Now it's up to you. You have to take it very diligently. Prabhupada gave us everything actually. In his purpose, in his association, in his followers, through his followers, we get everything. We get everything. Again, that's what we began our discussion. If we want to purify our consciousness, that is a desire. My dear Lord, I want to purify. I want to become pure. I want to come away from all these inebrities. Please, Krishna, please help me. Always devotees would ask me this question, that how do I connect to the Lord? How do I offer? How do I, I'm offering obeisances, but I'm not feeling or experiencing that. How do I do that? How do I connect to the Lord? How do I connect to my spiritual master? How do I connect to devotees? How do I do this? It's again through our feelings, through our thought process. Because when we take the shelter of Guru, Sadhu, and Shastra, then what happens is we try to understand these signs. It's because what is this controlling mentality? Controlling mentality, what are we trying to control? We're trying to control other person's body, or we're trying to control some matter, or we're trying to control something else, or we're trying to control somebody at office. What is this controlling mentality? This is there within the heart. Because through this controlling mentality, we cannot experience or we cannot really take shelter. When we leave this controlling mentality, how do a sadhaka would leave this controlling mentality is when he hears. Because when we hear, what happens is, these are all difficult. It's not easy. Dear devotees, all these instructions are not easy. For sure, they are not easy. Honoring only Krishna Prasad, limiting one's eating process, limiting one's sleeping process, limiting the thought levels, becoming free from sense gratification. These are not easy, dear devotees. Because the person who really comes out of this, then he really understands, yes, this is very difficult. We have to we have to go through everything. It's not easy. So that is the reason why we need to be dependent. Adha. We need to be dependent. Dependent on what? Dependent on the Lord, dependent on our acharyas. And we beg for that mercy. Please help. Please give me an opportunity. I really want to show, really want to take up this process diligently, because I don't know, my dear Lord, after how many lifetimes I got this opportunity to practice Krishna consciousness. Let me practice this very, very diligently, because I don't know when I will leave this body. And let me do at least, if I come to this platform, at least I will get a desire to chant one Shuddha Nam, one pure holy name, one Nama. These acharyas are giving Brahmanda Brahmita Koina Bhagyavan Jaya, they're telling Guru Krishna Prasad by Bhakti Lata Bishop. And then they're giving me this seed. Let me do this for their pleasure. At least one Shuddha Nam, my dear Lord, I do not have this experience. Please give me that experience. This is also a desire. Everything is desire, dear devotees. Sitting here, hearing very diligently, it's a desire. Thinking oneself as unqualified, that is the natural state. Seeing our acharyas, they are all exalted. They are the qualified personalities. And we are just simply trying to follow them. Dharmastha sattvam vihitam guhyayam mahajanayena gatasapanta. Let me just follow their instructions. Let me just abide. It's amazing how Srila Prabhupada is mentioning, even at the thought level also we shouldn't think. Because if this is a root, dear devotees, addressing the root is this. If the weeds are removed superficially, then the weeds will come again. What we have to do, we should uproot those weeds from the roots. Uprooting the weeds from the roots is what? On the thought level. The roots has to come out. Then no more weeds, right? So our consciousness has to be we should check our consciousness at our thought level. For example, somebody is going, or some Prabhupada says every person is Mataji. She's my respectable personality. Prabhupada, that's what. And then immediately when we remember our acharyas, there's a beautiful lady going on. My spiritual master says she's Mataji. I will just adore and respect. Are Hanuma Lakshmanji, when Lord Ramachandra was showing before it goes to Lord Ramachandra, when some of the devotees were showing the ornaments of Mother Sita, Lakshmanji was telling, I don't know, this ornament belongs to Mother Sita or not, because I have never seen her face also. I was just looking at her feet. I don't know what she was wearing. Look at the consciousness. This we need to aspire. The moment we think that, yes, she is Mataji, I have to respect her, worshipable, then no more this. What are we trying to do? We are correcting at the thought level. When the thought level, when the consciousness is corrected at the thought level, then what happens? Then we are covered. Then we are protected. And even at the thought level, we are remembering the acharyas, we are remembering Krishna to correct it. We are not doing it superficially. We are not artificially trying to gain some knowledge and then trying to, oh, okay, I should always think like this, she's Mataji, she's Mataji. No, not like that. We are actually remembering the law. We are actually remembering their presence. We are actually, we are actually doing those actions by keeping them in the center of our consciousness. This we need to learn more and more, because at every moment we have a test in our life. So how we are taking every moment of our life, that is what our progress is depending. Our progress is dependent on that. When Srila Prabhupada says, this is used only for this purpose, that's it. It should not be used for any other purpose. That means we will not do it. Honoring Krishna Prasad, and also that too very diligently. That too very diligently. Only to please the acharyas. No other motive. When we come to this platform, dear devotees, then no matter in which situation we've been kept, we will always relish the presence of our acharyas continuously. And then here it is being said, right? The conclusion is that one who can control the 6 items: speech, mind, anger, tongue, belly, and genitals. This has to happen in sadhaka's life. Prabhupada is speaking about grihasthas here. He's speaking about what? The actions and activities should be used only to beget Krishna conscious children. Otherwise, no more coming together. We should give it up completely. This is the move. Because I always ask this question. Because for brahmacharis, for brahmacharis, it is little easy. Because they have no profession, they stay in the ashram, they stay with the other brahmachari devotees, they sleep on the floor. That's it. There's no sex life in their lives. But how about grihastha? There's 2 things, right? Grihastha and grihamedi. Generally, we are transforming our consciousness from grihamedi to grihastha. Grihastha is actually, it comes after brahmachari. That means it's actually superior. Grihastha is actually superior. Because brahmacharya, grihastha, manaprastha, and then sannyas. Grihastha is what? In what situation? He should take shelter of the spiritual master, and he should inquire whether I need to get married or not. Then the spiritual master says, yes, you get married. And then he would also inquire when to beget children. So it's all very deep relationship, dear devotees, with the spiritual master. Then he will inquire when I should beget children. Then only they come together. And then rest, they stay away. But the thing is, it looks very difficult. Initially, it looks difficult. But what happens is, when we meditate on these instructions continuously and trying to see the mercy of the Lord, because I'll give another example. For example, we are discussing and then reading, and then we are trying to think about this. And then after this, we engaged in illicit relationship, coming together, husband, wife coming together. The whole purpose is to enjoy, nothing else. Not to beget Krishna conscious children. The whole purpose is to enjoy. Then what happens, dear devotees, is the consciousness is contaminated. What is contaminated? Consciousness. Because how do a sadhaka knows that consciousness is contaminated? If he has experienced that, the real happiness or real taste. Because when a sadhaka is always working, on to please Guru and Krishna, then he will realize that pure consciousness. But the moment when this thing comes, then what happens is, then he will see the difference. Vishya vinivartante niraharasya dehinam rasavarjam rasopyasha param dushta nivartate. Krishna also personally says He says a sadhaka has to get that higher taste. Then he will leave the road, then he will leave the lower taste. But unless he gets that higher taste, he cannot leave the lower taste. It is not possible. Just like you get another job, you will not leave this current job because you have no shelter, right? You have to get another job, then you resign, right? Likewise, you have to get that higher taste. Then we leave this bodily happiness through the bodily consciousness or bodily state of mind. Otherwise, this is very difficult to live. Otherwise, we think that, why Srila Prabhupada is telling like this? Why our acharyas are telling like this? Why everyone, right from Brahmadev, everyone is telling this. Prahlad Maharaj is also telling, Sakti in Sakti Yuga also is telling that we should give this up. We should give this up. Because this propensity didn't came now. This propensity was there millions of lifetimes before. And I will give a beautiful example how these propensities do stay from millions of lifetimes. For example, a child, when he is immediately born, what is he looking for? He is looking for some milk. He is looking for to satisfy his hunger. That means what? Ahara. He is taking care of that. And nobody is also telling him to sleep. He is also taking care of that. Ahara, Nidra is there. And if somebody is not there, and then he's in a state of fearfulness, and nobody's teaching him also, nobody's training him that you should be fearful, that you should eat, that you should sleep. It naturally comes. For a 1 day baby to a person who is about to leave the life, to leave the body. 100 years. Up until this time, nobody's training anyone. These things are there naturally. This is there in one's consciousness. And Maithuna, as and when the body is congenial for that, the Maithuna will come. Nobody is training them, nobody is training for that also. That means this is a clear sign that millions of lifetimes before also we did. If it is the first time which we are doing it now, then we will train them. Just like a calf, when I was in New Vrindavan, just like a calf, when the calf is born, I used to watch how calf would be born. The moment the calf is born, the calf is running towards mother to fetch milk. Nobody is telling them. Who is teaching? Nobody is teaching. That means previous life also we did that. That means even before life also we did that. There's a fearfulness. Nobody is teaching them. That is also there. So that means, dear devotees, all these things, the instructions which we are giving, which we are receiving, this is what? This is tapasya. Tapo divyam putrakayena sattva. Tapasya. What is tapasya? To please my acharya. This is my tapasya. Let me please Srila Prabhupada. My spiritual master told me one thing. If you establish in everyone's heart, if you show the greatness of Srila Prabhupada, if you show the greatness of spiritual master in one's life, then their life will be successful. Then their life will be successful. If we take Srila Prabhupada as our life and soul, dear devotees, Maya will not touch you. I will guarantee this. Maya will not touch. She will stay away. She will stay away from the sadhaka. Because we are completely absorbed. We want to please him. We have no other motive. We want to please our acharyas. When we have this, sex life is easy to give it up. Because we remember him. My Srila Prabhupada told me, my superiors told me, I will not do this. That's it. Because for every endeavor, dear devotees, if you really want to become pure, because it's only through pure devotion one can do Krishna consciousness. I will write it down. Mishra Bhakta cannot do Krishna consciousness. Because he didn't even come to the platform of surrender. He didn't even realize what he has to do, what he not supposed to do. Nitya Siddha, there are three states, right? Nitya Siddha, Sadhana Siddha, Kripa Siddha, right? Nitya Siddha is what they are eternally. Prahlad Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada, they are all Nitya Siddhas. What are they? They come here, they give Krishna consciousness, and they go back to the spiritual world. They are Nitya Siddha because they are eternally present with the Lord. They just come here for an act. Nothing else. They have no other business. They are Dana Jana Sundari, they have no business with that. When Srila Prabhupada, when he had a difficult time with his wife, Mother Radha, she had difficulties with his wife. Then he goes to his father. And then he tells his father, Father, I have some problems with my wife. His father said, that's good for you. Because we are not here to correct all of these things. We are here to become Krishna conscious. He did not speak a word after that. He took that as his life and soul. That's it. Dear devotees, we are not here to correct something. We are here to transform our consciousness. If we have this attitude, then we will be free from all these inabilities. Otherwise, whatever, this sense enjoyment, it will never go. Millions of lifetimes it will stay. I will write it down, it will never go. Unless and until we take shelter of a pure devotee, it will never go. When a sadhaka gets a desire to perform sinful activity or a sense gratificatory thought, when he immediately remembers his spiritual master, Srila Prabhupada and Krishna, it is gone. It will not come back again. It will not come back. Submission has so much power. I will tell you how much submission helps us. 1 second. Submission has so much power. Then this is a key for everything. Narottam Das Thakur. Narottam Das Thakur. He was a rich man actually. He was trying to meet his spiritual master Lokanath Goswami Maharaj. And Lokanath Maharaj was not accepting because Lokanath Maharaj knows Narottam Das Thakur is a great scholar. He's completely absorbed in Krishna consciousness. But he's a rich man. And he's thinking, how come? And he's not in a position to accept that person. Not in a position to accept Narottam Das Thakur. And Narottam Das Thakur is so submissive to its spiritual master. He was weeping. He was crying. Same we see in the life of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. He was weeping, crying. He was not accepting. He wanted to die. He wanted to give up his life. And every time when Narottam Das Thakur goes to Lokanath Goswami Maharaj, he says, some other time, later, not now, later, I cannot accept this. Later. But his focus, his determination is up to the point. Vyavasayatmika bhutir eke hai purna, no other desire. I really want to please him. And through that attitude of complete submission, that is what pleased Lokanath Goswami. Then he accepted him, made his disciple. So dear devotees, with the mercy of Srila Prabhupada, we come in the association of devotees. We should never take Guru association for granted. We should never take the instructions of the Lord as granted. For example, after hearing, we will get a desire to follow these instructions, and we will also follow for a month or two. I will also tell what's going to happen in the future. Month or two we will follow. Then what happens is ahankar. Prakriti kriyamani gune karmane sarvasa ahankara vimudatma karta ham iti manyate. Karta ham means it's me. Karta aham iti manu. See, from 1 week, from 1 month, I'm not doing sense gratification. I'm honoring only very diligently. I'm not engaging in illicit sex. I'm not engaging with sex life with my wife. I'm following this. Then what happens? Midyankar will come. See, you have been practicing since 1 month. Now you're a pure devotee. And if we immediately accept it, what happens? We will engage in sex life next day. Or we will do sense gratification. Can be anything. I'm just giving an example. These gross things have to be given up. Then we will deal about subtle things. Subtle things means on a soul platform. Hare Krishna, the first instruction is this: Dehinosmi itadaye komaram yorada. You're not this body, but a powerful spirit. So that means if we are not this body, that means the enjoyment which is coming from the body is also we are not that. Everybody would ask, how do I come to the self-realization? How do I realize that I'm not this body, but a powerful spirit soul? We need to follow our Acharya's instruction, nectar of instructions. Then by their mercy, we will be self-realized. Self-realization is, we will realize we will get Krishna Bhakti. Self-realization is the beginning. We'll get Krishna Bhakti. Pure devotion. Dear devotees, what our acharyas are giving is very difficult to understand. Very difficult. There is so much love and affection. Dear devotees, this is the only time, this is the only opportunity, this is the only life for all of us to come back to God. I repeat again, this is the only opportunity for us. We don't want to miss this bus. If we miss this bus, we are gone. If we miss this bus, what happens? We are gone. Gone for what? Because we don't know. All this material nature is very, very difficult. Because our acharyas are giving the topmost thing. There is nothing higher than this. Topmost Krishna Prem. Top. Top means top. Are controlling Krishna, just imagine. Maya dakshana prakriti suyate sacharacharam hetunanena kaunteya jagat viparivartate. This entire manifestation is working under the direction of Krishna. That person is controlled by another person. That our acharyas wanted to give. Babra. One time Srila Prabhupada was been asked, Swamiji, my desire wanted to become God, wanted to become one with God. And Srila Prabhupada immediately said, if you do bhakti, you will not one with the God, you will control God. Hare Krishna. You want to become one or control? Which one is superior? You want to become one, merge in Jyoti. That is one, that is your oneness. There is higher, there is no, in that oneness, there is no relationship here. There is no relation. Again, the soul has to come into the material world. There is no relationship in that one, in that oneness, so-called oneness. So that's why practicing Krishna consciousness in a personalism is more important, dear devotees. Impersonal way, it will not help, but in a personal way, it will more help. It will help more. Personalism means, let me do this for their pleasure. That is the beginning. And slowly, self-realization will also come. Slowly, we will follow all these instructions to the core of the heart. Dear devotees, I'll tell one thing, and then I'll open for question. Actually, I wanted to speak, but I don't want to, I want to stop here. But I'll tell one thing and then stop. So, dear devotees, and when we follow these instructions, what happens is, first thing what happens is the heart becomes so light. You'll be happy actually. As a devotee means happy. You will naturally be happy. You will not complain. You will not say that this is not good. You will not say that salt is not there. You will not say that this is not there. You will not say that it is spicy. You will not say that, oh, these devotees are not giving me this. You will not say that, oh, this complaining is all gone. Because we are satisfied. Satisfaction comes from the heart. We don't have to go anywhere outside. The place where you are in, Tampa, Florida, you can stay there. You can understand the science of Krishna consciousness and then leave. Hare Krishna. Wanted to stop here and then open for some questions. Sorry, I couldn't complete that last week. Somehow I had disruption. We were discussing very nicely, but somehow due to a higher arrangement, it had to stop. So, anyone has any questions? Feel free to ask because this is most important. And whoever follows nectar of instruction diligently to the core of their heart, they will go back home in this life for sure. You will not come back again into this world for sure. And just like that, Gopakumara was actually hugging Krishna. You will all go and hug Krishna for sure. All we need to do is we need to just follow our acharyas. Hare Krishna. Anyone would like to add anything?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna. Bhaswati Mataji. Hare Krishna. Please tell.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Prabhuji, I have some takeaway from the class. So
Sure,
Prabhuji, what
please.
you said about controlling the senses is very important, and the devotees should not desire what is too much for them or too less for, like too much for them. And always controlling desire will give the opportunity to step up in the bhakti of or higher taste. See, that is my first one. And the second is if there is a lot of sense gratifications and very nice something going on, as for example in our daily life, like office related or anything, but if there is no Krishna, then we should not be there, or we should not participate on those situations. And as for example, you said about Gop Kumar's example, he was looking for everywhere, but he was trying to find out where is Krishna and his devotees. So that is very important in devotees' life. And always follow the acharyas and their instructions in the bhakti path, Prabhuji. There's 3 takeaways I got. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mother Bhaswati. Really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Yes, it is very important to really understand the science to the core of our heart, because external vision, external look doesn't help a sadhaka. Whatever we are thinking internally, that is what matters, because that's very practical also, because at the time of death our entire body doesn't function, doesn't work, but our consciousness do work, especially at the time of when we are leaving this body. So if you are training all our life on those lines, on what we need to think, what we need to feel, what we need to understand, what we need to accept, what we need to reject. If you are training up, if you are just following our acharyas in their form, Mahajana Gata Sapam, just following in their footsteps, then what happens is naturally Krishna will be immensely pleased. And then through his mercy, we will remember him at the time of death. And then we will go back to God. For this, we need to work on our consciousness a lot, because we deal with this world a lot. We need to always check our consciousness on what we are doing and why we are doing. Hare Krishna. Anyone else would like to add anything?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna,
Dandavat Pranam, dear devotees. Prabhuji, I just want to make a comment that how I feel about the whole lecture that you gave today and the ongoing one that you was doing previously. Sometimes as a devotee, we think that we are all, okay in what we are doing. But in the past few weeks, listening to you, I'm realizing how much I'm lacking and how much more we need to do to really seal our pathway towards Krishna consciousness. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. That's my comment. I'm really appreciating what you're doing so that we can be better devotees and tread that pathway with much more confidence if we follow through like Nectar's instructions. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Greatly appreciated. Hare Krishna.
Alex, thank you so much for your comment, because this is the key for everything actually, because they are our life and soul actually. Srila Prabhupada innumerable times he writes again and again, if you take the instructions of the spiritual master and then take it as your life and soul and then follow it diligently, then that is the success of our life. He wrote that multiple times, Prabhupada, multiple times. He that is the whole point why he wrote so many books. That is the whole point why he gave us this beautiful this beautiful association. That is the whole point, because he really wanted to teach us that deep. He wanted to give us that conviction, because conviction in sadhaka's heart will come naturally, because Krishna consciousness is dormant in everyone's. Everyone can take this process, and this is the greatness of Lord Chaitanya. He will never he will never differentiate this person belongs to this caste, this is only for him. No, it's everyone. Actually, even for Mataji, this process was not available before, but they are giving it to Matajis also. Everyone can take this process and then make women's life successful. Because if you actually see before, prior to Lord Chaitanya, these teachings were not there to Matajis. It is only his mercy. These teachings were not there because he said these teachings has to go to the West. And that's why Srila Prabhupada went to the West, because he wanted to give these teachings to everyone. That is the whole point. And then that's the secret why these instructions are, when we do this, Prabhu, these instructions will become a nectar in our life. Nectar. And then it will establish a deeper relationship with our acharyas. The more we follow them, the more we get the conviction, the more the faith, the confidence, and we will become free from fear factor in our life. My dear Lord, in whatever situation you keep me, you can give me good health or you can remove the health. That doesn't matter, my dear Lord. I will always take shelter of you, because you are my proprietor, you are my master. Let me take more and more shelter of you, because I know this is temporary. This will go one day. Please let me take more and more shelter. And then every day it will become a great, just like a person whose house is on fire. For example, person house is on fire. Another person would come, and then he would tell, your house is on fire. The person who he cannot speak his language, and then this person cannot understand his language. They cannot understand. But he's trying to tell, but this person is unable to understand. This person is telling the person who has watched it that his house is on fire, but this other person cannot understand. Then what he realizes, I'm telling him, but he's unable to understand. What he will do, he will try to tell again and again. So our acharyas come into this world to teach us again and again, and then give us more conviction. Then the moment we realize that my house is on fire, then what we do, we will try to stop that fire. And this is self-realization. The day we realize that Krishna consciousness is everything in my life, that day we will realize that we are not this body, we are spiritual, we are part and parcel of Krishna, and my business is to go back to God. This will realize. Up until that point, we have to do continuous shravanam diligently. We need to hear on a daily basis, and then move forward. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dhanavat Pranam. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna. Anyone else like to share, add anything?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dhanavat Pranam. All yours to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you for the wonderful message, wonderful explanation, thought-provoking, definitely. Takeaway, Prabhuji, from the point of like controlling the mouth, the tongue, basically. So if we think, if I think, actually I thought in the past, okay, I can control, I can control, I can reduce, and then that was good. I was controlling in the past, but then the moment the pride comes in, then Krishna will give an opportunity. Okay, let me see how much can she control, and more tasteful, more nectarian. It's still prasadam, but so okay. Last, just to clean up, last piece. Let me just. It's so tasty. Tomorrow it will be spoiled. So and it's all the way at the last. Let me finish it off. Kind of all those pretty small things, but very powerful, which will impact the next day's waking up in the morning, next day, and so forth. So so my lesson is, if I think I can control myself, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. But as you said, if at that point, okay, my guru said, if I take this, it will impact the next day's chanting, next day wake up. At that point, it's guru. It's all guru. So if it is taken as an instruction, then the guru will control us automatically. It would be spontaneous. It's not like controlling myself, controlling. So I could see that difference, Prabhuji. Trying to be consistent. So thank you for reiterating it, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
When we follow, what happens is we've been kept in the internal energy of the Lord. When we try to follow an instruction for their pleasure, we will be kept in the internal energy of the Lord. Because when we are kept in the internal energy of the Lord, material energy will not work on us. And the moment, as you said, the moment pride kicks in, then again we ourselves wanted to come away from the internal energy and then wanted to situate in the external energy of the Lord. And then the moment we are in the external energy, the moment we think that we are the doers, then the whole process will be lost. For example, I'll tell you, the moment I think that I'm speaking, the whole process will be lost. That means I'll be kept from internal energy to the external energy. The moment I think that I'm doing this, the moment I think that this is given by my spiritual master, the moment it is not thinking, that is a fact actually. How this is a fact? Because before coming to Krishna consciousness, I was not speaking all these things. After coming to Krishna consciousness also, I was not able to understand these things. I read this, but I couldn't understand. But it's only through the association. It's only through the association of the pure devotee I'm understanding this. That means credit goes to whom? Credit goes to them. Credit goes to our acharyas. So at every moment of our life, if we are giving the credits back to them, then what happens is, naturally our credits will be fulfilled, and not even that, they will be kept in another platform, another plane. Because through that platform and plane only we can control all these things. Otherwise, the moment I think that I'm doing this, we will show anger towards the other person. Hey, why are you not following this? Hey, follow this. Hey, do this. Hey, atyahara. That's arrogance. That's not devotion. Because he is doing by himself. When a sadhaka is doing by himself, he will also control, but he will control only for few. I'll give an example, if that is okay. I will give an example. One time, Srila Prabhupada, a sadhaka came to Srila Prabhupada and started practicing. But he thought that, no, I can do everything by my own self. Then he would leave Srila Prabhupada. And then he started saying somewhere in Vrindavan. But devotees have some connection with him. And then he started chanting 64 rounds. He himself started eating only once. He himself started sleeping only for 3 days. for 3 hours. This is what he was doing every day. He was able to do this for a week or two. And then after that, he intensified. He chanted 128 rounds. And he's continuing to sleep for 3 hours. He's eating only once. He was able to do all of those things. And then devotees were informing Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada, now he's chanting 64 rounds. Prabhupada said, And then after that, Srila Prabhupada, he's chanting 128 rounds. Prabhupada said, And then after that, devotees wouldn't see him after a month. This happened only for a month, or this might happen for a year or 2 years. Doesn't matter time, based on their determination. One can do it for 1 year or 2 years. That's based on their determination, right? He did it for a couple of months, and then after that, he was not there. Then devotee started telling Srila Prabhupada, this devotee is no longer here. I said, nah, everything, if a person is doing it for his own pleasure, that's all sense gratification. And he cannot withhold on this because there is no shelter, there is no ground for him. For example, you are constructing a building, there is no foundation to it. Can you make like four floors on top of it? Even if you make it, cannot stay there. It will fall down. So our pillars are our acharyas. They are our life and soul. We don't see them, but they are there in our consciousness. I see a lot of people wearing Srila Prabhupada t-shirts. Srila Prabhupada, life, simple living, high thinking. But I always ask, is Srila Prabhupada there in your heart? Lovingly, it's not through arrogance. Is he there in our heart? If he is there in our heart, we will follow all his instructions. This is called as all glories to Srila Prabhupada. This is called as all glories to Sri Guru and Gauranga. Then we will glorify them with our heart. Then we want to chant Samsara Dava prayers. Are, my dear Lord, you have given me this, let me pray for your happiness. Then we will be completely selfless. Nothing on our platform. For their pleasure. We do it for their pleasure. Then we make advancement. Which I want all of you to do. You should all come to this platform. Should all aspire for pure devotion. Correct. Thank you. Anyone else?
Hare
Anyone
Krishna,
would like to add?
Prabhuji, Guru Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji, for the wonderful class, for the sense control and all. So, Prabhuji, I have a question because in ISKCON nowadays, during Prabhupada time and now the time is changed so much, the technology and all. So, some devotees, I heard that we have to grow along with the fastness of the world. So sometimes if we watch movies also fine, sometimes if we eat outside also fine, even though they are senior devotees and they are doing classes, they are following Krishna consciousness, everything. And but as you said, sense gratification it's not the way how you can control, like you reach Krishna. So bhakti means you have to control your senses, the indriya trupti. So how can we understand if they say these kind of things, even though they are senior Vaishnavas, they're following, but how can I take them when they are saying that? Because in my mind, sense gratification is you need to control as a senior Vaishnava. But when they say this, like the way how I look at them or how I understand them, it's something different, Prabhu. How can I need to understand and how I need to control my thinking about them and how I need to take the things?
Hare Krishna. That's a practical question. Thank you, Radha Mata. Thank you for your sincerity, actually. Because Srila Prabhupada really wanted all of us to become Krishna conscious. I'm sad to hear that devotees watching movies. So, see, the thing is, I told, right, in the session, Vishya vinivartante nirahararthi dehinam rasovarjam rasopyasha param drishya nivartate. Until and unless sadhaka gets the higher taste, we cannot leave lower happiness. Even though if they are practicing for 10, 20, 30, 40 years, if the higher taste is not there, they cannot leave that lower taste. It will never happen. The higher taste has to come. For that, we need association also. So, Amma, in that situation, you need to really understand one thing, that they did not get that kind of association. They did not get that kind of an association where the teachings of Srila Prabhupada can be followed diligently or to the core of the heart. That we need to understand. And how we need to take this is, we need to be free from that propensity. Because if we are also convinced with that, then we will also do that. We need to take that association very, very carefully. We should not associate with the devotees who are practicing at the same time. They are also doing the process of sense gratification, like watching movies, eating outside. We should be very careful. We should be very diligently taking our association. We should be carefully taking our, because see, we have been given this. Actually, Srila Prabhupada writes personally. He writes about movies and shoppings and all of this, what eating outside. This really, we should not take that association. If you take that association means what? To get inspired. We should not take inspiration from them, because that inspiration is not coming through a selfless platform, because they themselves, they're not there in that selfless platform. We should be very vigilant, and we are not also offending them. We will offer our obeisances. We will say Hare Krishna. We will say, how are you? How are things at your end? But we will never take inspiration. Myself also have seen those situations. I will never take that association. Because if I begin taking that association, then the taste to the holy names and the taste towards our acharyas, everything will be lost. Because we will be kept in the material energy. And our taste to the process will be gone. We will not get up in the morning. We will not be able to chant or run. We will not be able to do Shravanam very diligently. We will not be able to take this process very seriously to the heart. And when problems do come, then we will be affected and impacted very deeply. Because the fear factor will come. Because shelter nahi hai na. We do not have shelter. I've seen so many devotees telling that. So many. I'll give another example. All these instructions are for brahmacharis. It's not for grihastha. I've heard this many times. They are not for grihastha, it's for brahmacharis. Who said, did Prabhupada said anywhere? I read the whole para, whole purport. Did Prabhupada mention anywhere that this is only for brahmacharis? Or this is only for grihasthas? Or this is only for sannyasis? There he gave certain instructions for sannyasis. But rest, it's for everyone. Did Prahlad Maharaj ever said that only sannyasis have to give up sex life? No, it's for everyone. Matirna Krishna Parataswadova Mito Vipadyeti Grihavritanam Adantagopir Vishatam Tamisram Punappunacharvita Charvinana. I will read this, dear devotees. Please hear this attentively. For those who have decided to continue their existence in this material world for the gratification of their senses, there is no chance of becoming Krishna conscious. That means technically we need to understand whoever is situated in the platform of sense gratification, we are not on the platform of where there is no chance of becoming Krishna conscious. Not by personal endeavor, by instruction from others, or by joint conferences. That means it is not possible through personal endeavors or through any instructions from others. That means I receive instruction from others, but I do sense gratification. That is also not possible. Or I do joint conferences and do sense gratification. That is also not possible. That means this propensity have to be given up. If somebody is doing it, we should diligently avoid that association. We are not offending them, dear devotees. Here, very clarity, it's very clear. Bhaswati Mataji also asked this question a couple of weeks back. Similar question. There are certain devotees who are not practicing very diligently. How do I tackle those devotees? Here we should respect from distance. We should not take that association. We should be careful. We should be careful. We should not develop deep relationship with them. We should be very diligently avoid that association. And that's what it says, right? After that, they are dragged by the unbridled senses into the darkest region of ignorance. It's ignorance, actually. Movie is what? It's ignorance. Hero, heroine will come. They do what? Sense gratification. If I watch that, I will also get the desire to do sense gratification. I will also think that I'm Chiranjeevi. I will think that I'm Sridevi. Mataji will think that Sridevi. I will think that I'm Chiranjeevi. And I will do a song together. Or I will think that I'm Shah Rukh Khan or Kajol. And then I will do some activity on that. On a physical. What are we trying to do? We are trying to correlate with them. That is what movie is, right? We are trying to correlate with them. That should be completely given up. And if others are doing it, that's not our business, and then we should simply try to avoid that association as much as possible. And this is not, we are not offending. We are actually checking our heart and then seeing where we need to take our association. That's all. For example, you go to a store, you wear a t-shirt, you trail, you go into the trail room, you wear a t-shirt, and then you come out. If it is good, you purchase it. Otherwise, you will not purchase a t-shirt. That's it. As simple as that. We are not taking that as because that is not congenial to me. So we should be very, very careful and diligent to take the right association. Hare Krishna. Amma, is that okay, Amma? Radha Mataji?
Thank you. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. Anyone else?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Wonderful explanation, very practical points you gave. Sometimes, I think that after all hearing this, I remember Prabhupada says that first we have to be a human beings before we can, call ourselves a devotee. So I'm feeling myself not even, qualified to be called as devotee. But, as you mentioned, with the endeavor and, daily practicing, and, we have hope that, one day we will, follow all these regulatory principles very diligently. So any practical tips, Prabhuji? Appreciate. Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Subal Gopal Prabhu. All of you, all the devotees on the call, you really want to be Krishna conscious. That I can tell. So please continue that fire. Hear every day. When hearing happens every day, this fire will continue. The moment hearing stops, the fire will be gone. That's why Srila Prabhupada said, Nashta Prayasha Budras Nityam Bhavat. Every day. Every day. We should come to the platform of goodness. Tapo Divyam Putra Kaina Sattva. Sattva Guna only we can do good. We can practice diligently. We should strive for that. And then, dear devotees, another thing, the more we follow, what happens is, we need to check which weed we are, which water we are. Are we watering the Krishna Lata beach, or am I watering the weeds? we can see in our consciousness also while we are continuing this journey. What happens is, if we are watering the weeds, then arrogance will come. That means the moment we see a sadhaka who is not practicing, rather than compassion, we will be passionate towards him. That compassion will not kick in. The passion will kick in. The moment we remember our spiritual master, the moment we remember the Lord, then what happens is compassion will kick in. I'm following, this person is not able to follow. Let me help this person. This will come from our heart. But the passion will not come. Is useless person is not following. I'm following. It's arrogance actually. This is watering the weed. Even in mind also, we should not think like that. Because that is, and to Radha Mataji's point, why devotees will also watch movies and eat outside? Yes, there is lack of shravanam, lack of association. Every day diligently, who is hearing? Who will try to think about this process every day? Whoever is sincere, whoever really wants to go back to God in this very lifetime. This is not a thing. This is not a change. This is not a switch where I switch on this and then I'll be Krishna conscious. No, it will not happen like that. So many devotees told me, I will remember the Lord at the time of the death and I can do all nonsense all my life. No, that is an offense against the holy names. To disobey the third instruction, to disobey the orders of the spiritual master, to be inattentive while chanting. These are all offenses. We cannot perceive the truth to the core of the heart unless and until we put a tangible effort. My dear Lord, we have to be dependent. Please, Krishna, please, Srila Prabhupada, please, my dear spiritual master, please help, please help. I really want to do this, please help. Depend, we need to depend more and more. When a sadhaka comes to the platform of dependency, he will never be convinced that he's a devotee. He always thinks that there is always a scope of improvement for me. First, we need to be convinced that I'm not a devotee. Even though we are doing this process every day, we need to be convinced that I'm not a devotee. I'm not a devotee. Actually, this is a great gift my spiritual master gave me. He convinced me that I'm not a devotee. The moment I'm convinced that I'm not a devotee, I'm not judge the other person. Rather, I wanted to give the truth to the other person. In love, there is no judgment. In love, there is sharing. In love, there is give and take. You remember that day we all hold our hands when I was there in Tampa, the first session? You remember that, all of you? We all hold our hands together.
Yes, Prabhuji.
We prayed to the Lord mercifully. It's so beautiful process actually. Connecting. What is the platform of connection? Absolute truth. Krishna Katamritam. Acharyopasana. These are our pillars. Shravana Kirtana are our pillars. When Shravana Kirtana happens, 24 hours, dear devotees, that should come actually in our lives. 24 hours Shravana Kirtana should happen. That is what happening in the spiritual world. We all want to relish that consciousness. That is possible. We all will relish that. We always cherish. Krishna consciousness is a loving thing. It's a give and take. Next verse is a beautiful. Dadati pratikrinati kriyam akyadi prachyati bundete bojete prayavashadi with priti laksham. Give and take. This is a relationship. I was asking many years back my spiritual master, my instructing spiritual master, a question. Prabhuji, you have established such a beautiful community. What is the baseline for this? He said, the baseline for this is following the instructions of my spiritual master and nectar of instruction. This is a baseline for everything. If we are diligently following these principles, If we are coming to the platform of the Gopi Bharata Parakamla Dasa Dasa Dasanu Das, oh, we will make immense progress because this is what is there in the spiritual world. When Gopakumara came to the spiritual world, all the devotees are relishing. Hare Gopakumara came. When you all go, when all the devotees in this call, they go to the spiritual world, they will discuss about you. Really, they will discuss about you. Because you all have a relationship with Krishna. You all have a relationship with all the devotees over there. That relationship Srila Prabhupada wanted to establish by establishing this organization. And for that, he is giving all these instructions. He's telling, you be diligent, you do sadhana, you do tapasya. That is the only purpose, right? That is the only intention. His intention is not to keep us in trouble. That is not the intention of our acharyas. Hare Krishna. Thank you. Thank you so much. Anyone else would like to add anything? Hare Krishna. Thank you. If I spoke anything wrong out of my ignorance, please excuse me. And through my words and speech, if I caused any inconvenience, please forgive me. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Wonderful. Prabhuji, I know it is already late, but next time, please. I heard about Gopakumara Prabhuji, not much, aware of all his, activities and leelas. So maybe next time you can cover. Thank you, Prabhuji.